Isn't it beautiful how life has a way of immediately showing you when you move away from sincerity or truth? In my experience, every time that movement happens, there's pain or contraction or discomfort. And not that those are to be avoided, but they certainly don't feel good. And it is a beautiful reminder. I still think of the bowling alley I used to take my kids to, and it had these little guardrails you could put up for little kids. And so whenever the ball went a little bit towards the gutter, it would bump off the rails and it would get nudged back into the center again. I feel like that life is very kind that way too. Instead of bumpers, there's suffering. We bump into suffering when we move away from the sincerity, the authenticity of our expression. And as I say that too, I realize I'm making it sound a little bit more polarized than it really is. It's not as if suffering is to be avoided, but it is to notice that it's telling you something. There is something being believed, or an energy of separation that's being perpetuated if there is suffering present. At least in my experience, 100% of the time. Even if in the moment I can't figure it out, even if the insight comes later, I've yet to have an experience of suffering where there's not a contraction or a belief or the sense of feeling myself to be separate, which usually takes the form of a feeling of fear, a feeling of lack, a feeling of not good enough, all the ways that the separation manifests in the body and the mind to let you know, hey, you've gotten confused again. You're mistaking what you are to be a little separate psychological self. It's such a beautiful reminder to remember that no words are the truth. That at best, they can just point towards what you are. It's like if you were in a town and you saw a sign directing you to that town, you'd say, wait a minute, aren't we already in the town? And if you see that, you'd say, of course, that makes perfect sense. Oh yeah, we're here. But if we're confused, sometimes words can be a beautiful signpost that just says, hey, the arrow's pointing straight in. Take a peek. Check for yourself. See if you're not already here. You're not already resting in and as what you are before you go looking for it. If you go looking for it, that's okay. If you look for it out there, then sooner or later, there will be various shades of suffering, disappointment. A teacher that I really admire today was talking about betrayal. So the feelings of betrayal can be there, that someone did not hold up an agreement to be a certain way so that you could be happy. At least that's my on-the-spot interpretation of betrayal. So the beautiful thing is when you start to realize that no thoughts are the truth. No words are actually the truth. then the attachment to being right inevitably begins to thin out. And that's a major pillar that the separate self stands on. I need to be right. They need to be wrong. My words are true. Their words are false. I get it. They don't get it. I'm awakened. They're asleep. They're delusional. I'm wise, whatever the opposite of delusional would be. It's like, if no words that anyone ever says are the truth, then how in the world can my words and my thoughts be the truth? How can they be correct and other ones be wrong? But we can say, do these words seem to point to the truth? Do they resonate in my being? And do I find that when I hear those words, or when I follow where they're pointing to, do I get to drop whatever thoughts or focus was seemingly keeping me from experiencing my being as it simply is, as it simply sits here? And if the answer is yes, and I'm making it more complicated, because obviously if there's a resonance with a particular pointing or teaching, you know it, you feel it in your gut, something goes, ah, yes, this. And to me, it's as simple as that. Like, there's nothing else we have to do. Just follow what resonates. We will guide ourselves to do exactly what we need to do in each moment. And just like that sign that's telling us we're already in the town we were looking for, we can remember that we start this journey at the end. We stand in the very town that we think we're traveling to as the very thing we're looking for. So how in the hell can we do it wrong? And that certainly takes the seriousness and the sting out of it. So, thank you.